Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from PaulGaleNetwork.com. We are about to watch the PlayStation State of Play. It is April 29th, 2021. I am stoked. Rated E10 plus. Alright, let's see what we've got cooking.
Welcome to an all-new State of Play. We've got more than 15 minutes of new Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart PS5 gameplay coming right up. But first, let's check in on two other exciting games coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 consoles this year.
Alright.
Made it to 4546B. Landing was a bit rough, but I don't think he spotted me.
Hi, I'm Jeff, audio producer at Unknown Worlds. Set 1 year after the award-winning original, Subnautica Below Zero plunges players into a frigid underwater adventure in search of answers. Here, the native wildlife above and below the surface might consider you a tasty treat, assuming you don't become an ice pop first. The previous research crew has vanished, including your sister.
This was Sam's necklace. She never took it off.
To uncover the truth, you'll need to get crafty, building tools and shelter for your survival. But even that may not be enough.
I told you to stay off.
Alright, so today's State of Play isn't going to be a giant event, but 3 titles.
The haptic feedback system
New Subnautica, of course Ratchet and Clank, and one other title it seems.
Encounter key game moments.
3 titles.
Situations where it's probably best to run. By the time you squint to see what's ahead, it may already be too late. Fortunately, when you play Below Zero on PS5, players will get a crystal clear experience with up to 4K graphics, targeting 60 FPS when in performance mode. And if you already own a physical or digital version of the first Subnautica on PS4, you'll be able to upgrade to the digital PS5 version at no additional cost. We hope you're as excited as we are to dive into the world of Subnautica Below Zero when it launches on PS5 and PS4 on May 14th.
Alright, next month. Cool, not a bad way to start. So this really is a Ratchet and Clank day, which is great. It's just kind of funny that it's a State of Play called event. And here you got Ratchet and Clank right here. This is nice. Among Us with some Ratchet and Clank crossover. Skin, hat, and pet exclusively when played on PlayStation.
We can't wait to dive deep into Subnautica Below Zero and make baseless accusations against our crewmates in Among Us later this year. Looks like Ratchet and the gang are ready for the spotlight. Next up, Insomniac Games will lead us on a tour of this June's PS5.
Alright, let's do it. If you watched my trailer reaction video a couple of days ago, you know I'm pumped for this game. Looks great.
I'm Marcus Smith, creative director of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, a brand new full-length Ratchet and Clank adventure built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I'm glad it's not
going to introduce you
cross-gen.
to some of the gameplay, characters, and arsenal of Rift Apart. Whether you've played every game since Ratchet and Clank's debut, or you're brand new to the series, Rift Apart is a standalone adventure that you won't want to miss. Let's get into it.
Oh. Clank? Clank? Wombats? What is this place? Where are you, Clank? Maybe someone around here has seen him. Have any of you seen a little gray robot anywhere? Green eyes, red antenna, very charming.
Just the shattering of boxes looks great.
Ratchet has been separated from his best
Particles
friend
of
and
wood
partner Clank, and
flying
is now
everywhere.
in a new dimension in a mysterious urban sprawl. called Nefarious City.
Please let there be good news behind here.
Ratchet quickly finds out that in this dimension, Dr. Nefarious is a much more capable villain.
Welcome to the Nefarious City Bazaar. Please remember to thank our marvelous Emperor before, during, and after making your purchase.
Emperor? Does that mean there are two Nefariouses now? Clank first, Nefarious later. Maybe he's in this bazaar.
Thanks to the new hardware, the worlds in Rift Apart are more beautiful than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Cities are full of life with traffic and civilians milling about everywhere. Rift Apart is full of the unexpected. Characters in this new dimension are not always the same as they were in Ratchet and Clank's dimension. Ratchet comes across Miss Zircon, the weapon vendor in Rift Apart.
Wait a second.
You forgot your order. Well, come right in. Miss Zircon will sell you weapons, but you gotta be less conspicuous, or the resistance will not last.
The Resistance?
Oh, apologies, sugar. Miss Zircon is still new to all of this espionage.
Clank has been taken by a mysterious new Lombax named Rivet.
Clank! No. I need to go after that ship. How can I get off planet?
It's a test. Only royal starships are allowed to leave. Anything else? No. Phantom can help. Just follow the beat to Club Nefarious and you will find him.
Club Nefarious, got it. Oh, and nice work, Secret Agent Zircon.
This is so exciting.
Club Nefarious shouldn't be hard to miss. Better look around.
No, I like the world that Insomniac has built here. I wonder if this game, similar to some of their past titles, has a performance mode, a visual mode. I mean, this seems to be running very smoothly.
Dr. Nefarious? So that sounds like a club, all right.
Very nice lighting. There's so much depth in the world. I appreciate that. I'm sure that some of the worlds are really gonna
Once
pull me
Ratchet
in.
finds Phantom, he learns a couple of new moves.
That's cool.
One of the focal points of gameplay in Rift Apart is increased mobility. Ratchet can now dash and wall run to traverse levels. This focus on mobility allows players to chain moves together to create exhilarating combos. Now let's jump into combat.
The Nefarious Day Spa. If you can distract these troopers, I'll hack Nefarious's propaganda blimp and give the city a message it'll never forget.
Looks easy enough.
Dash Slashing allows you to evade attacks or gain strategic advantages. Enemies can't hit what doesn't momentarily exist.
I love the effects from the shots.
Dimensional tears in the world allow you to use the Rift Tether, another new traversal mechanic, to instantly pull yourself across battlefields to escape or flank enemies. Weapons in Rift Apart utilize the power of the DualSense wireless controller's adaptive triggers and haptic feedback to allow players to really feel the power of their arsenal. For example, with the burst pistol, players can pull back the trigger partway to peck out accurately placed single shots. But pulling the trigger fully unleashes a rapid-fire strike.
Oh, I know how that's gonna feel already.
In either case, players will feel each shot burst from the weapon and connect with enemies.
The DualSense really is a
With
nice
the Enforcer,
controller.
players can pull the trigger down halfway to fire a single barrel, reducing time between reloads. Or pull the trigger fully and unleash both barrels with a devastating close-range attack. Thanks to the haptics, the player will feel the power of their shots through their hands.
Right on.
Let's move ahead a little bit. As Ratchet attempts to follow Rivet and Clank, he encounters a nefarious juggernaut.
Where did you even come from?
That's satisfying, man.
During this fight, more dimensional chaos ensues. Thanks to the power of the SSD, we can near instantly teleport players to completely different locations. This isn't some small arena being loaded, but the entire level from a different planet.
Wow.
Let's jump over and see what's going on with Rivet and Clank.
It's pretty cool.
As you may have guessed, Rivet is a brand new playable character in the series.
Where are you taking me?
I was gonna take you to my hideout, but first I gotta rescue my friends at their gelatonium factory.
Slight hiccup there, but
Rift
the only thing
Apart
I've noticed
includes
so far.
several alternate dimension versions of classic planets from past games.
Great! There's a secret.
Did we mention how stunning and alive our worlds are? Thanks to the power of the PS5 and the 3D audio, we've been able to create alien planets with an immersive density like never before. Let's check it out.
Speedos, yeah. That's why I'm gonna ride one. As soon as I can get close enough.
Back to Ms. Zircon, the weapons vendor.
Whoa. This wasn't what was in my account last time.
Oh, that is because I added our mutual friend on Nefarious City.
Okay.
In Rift Apart, you get to play with an explosive new arsenal, as well as a few returning classics.
You will be missed, sweet thing.
Here's another example of how we're using the DualSense. With the Topiary Sprinkler, players will feel resistance in the trigger as they prepare a throw of this garden grenade. Once on the ground and spitting out its rapid growth plant fertilizer, players will also feel when enemies have been topiaried and are ready to be trimmed down.
It appears some dimensional distortion is emanating from that cave.
Everything's moving really fast.
In addition to rift tethering and dimensional shifts, there are also many pocket dimensions scattered throughout the game.
And last Speedo runs into that rift thingy.
Interesting. you must have a rift tether in your glove, too.
Alright, smarty bot. What is this place?
A dimensional pocket? Perhaps a symptom of the Dimensionator's destruction.
How do you come up with this stuff? Hey, it's Maynard! The Morse's helper bot! Must have wandered in through the rifts somehow.
There is the Speedle.
You know, I'm watching the live stream, and it's about this big.
Might get its attention.
Well, hello there.
I can't wait to play this on my TV.
Oh, dear.
Maybe Maynard can lead me to the Morse.
I upgraded last year from a 60-inch LED 1080p TV to a 65-inch 4K HDR-enabled OLED TV. And the difference between 1080p and 4K with HDR on, 120 hertz,
Let's find the Morse.
Riding Speedles is one way of traversing Sargasso's
OLED.
acid swamps, and
It's
do
nice.
so quickly.
Excuse me.
I was just floored at how good Miles Morales looked.
I got it.
And replaying God of War and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Stop! 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 Stop!
This is going to be PS5's best looking game to date, though.
Coming, Morse.
So I feel like with this, it'll be like, alright, next gen is here, you know?
Stopped by some fuzzballs. So you got like 9.5 seconds to tell us where they're at. 1.
Hang on there now.
If you watched our previous gameplay demo, you may recognize the Goons for Less. This rebranded gang has been hired by Dr. Nefarious to attack Ratchet and Clank, and are now also trapped in Rivet's dimension. Here's another new weapon. The Shatter Bomb is a frag-type grenade that deals a lot of damage to your foes. With haptic feedback, each explosion feels incredibly impactful.
You can find us long back.
Oh, it's gonna be dope.
Where are these doofuses coming from?
Perhaps they were sucked through the dimensional vortex as well.
The one thing I would hope for, though, that I don't see, is an on-screen toggleable map. I'd love to have a map that you could put on screen and just leave at all times with a little arrow indicating where you are traversing through this world instead of having to pause to access the map or anything like that. Just, you know, stick it off to the side kind of.
This is just a small taste of some of the early gameplay in Rift Apart, but there is so much more.
If you don't want a map,
We have open areas
don't
to
use it.
explore.
Oh, see? I want a map.
Dimensional Clank puzzles. Glitch challenges.
Those look fun.
Arena challenges. Aerial combat. Gold bolts to collect. Pocket dimensions.
It's gonna be a tough one to platinum.
Armor to obtain and use in the first ever Ratchet and Clank photo mode.
Sweet.
And giving more people access to playing our games is always important to us. As such, Rift Apart will offer a slew of accessibility options.
Smart.
We'll reveal
Good.
more about this soon. Experience Rift
That's
Apart's
good.
new planets,
That's great.
weapons, intense high-action combat, and near-instant load times, all with some of the best visuals we've ever created.
How about that, huh?
Oh man, look at that lightning.
Getting out of hand.
On behalf of all of us at Insomniac Games, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the Omniverse on June 11th.
Thank you.
That's our show. We explored the depths of an alien ocean, got a first look at Among Us on PlayStation, and zipped across space and time in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
I mean, using this state of play to announce that Among Us is coming to the PlayStation library of systems, that's cool and all. Looks like this is the same trailer that we saw before. Showing off some new Subnautica, that's cool. But this was a Ratchet and Clank event, you know, and that's okay. That's all I needed it to be, because we found out that, hey, we were going to get some Ratchet and Clank footage, deep diving in a couple of days in a state of play. I just didn't know if the state of play was going to be a more full, you know, bigger event with several titles, or if that was too much to ask for. Obviously, that wasn't their intention, but that's fine. What we got was nice-looking Ratchet and Clank preview. Both characters, Rivet and Ratchet, look like fun. The game's gonna have its typical variety with, you know, aerial combat, land vehicles. The worlds look snappy. I only saw one little hiccup as the camera was rotating around in one of the worlds, and that was very brief. I'm sure that that's not going to happen too often, I'd imagine, in the final release. It's coming out in just a little over a month, so that's pretty exciting. April, May, and June are pretty cool. We got new Pokemon Snap in April, Resident Evil Village in May, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart in June. There's not gonna be one more thing. No, you could tell. So, since this is what Sony had to show off today, and not, you know, this grand video filled with God of War Ragnarok and, you know, other teases, maybe like a Spider-Man 2 and so forth, you got to imagine, well, if Sony's not going to participate in E3 this year, which is also June, right? Just after this release, June 12th through the 15th. Sony's probably going to have some more grand state of play or something like it in June, around E3 time, on its own, maybe in July or August. Probably not that far off, though. I wouldn't imagine that they would wait 4 months to show off, you know, what else they have in store, especially as the later half of the year is, you know, coming up soon. July 1st will be here, and, you know, you want to have fans stoked for the holidays and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that eventually. You know, we just found out the other day PlayStation 5 is off to a good start, 7.8 million consoles sold worldwide as of March 31st. You know, Sony also said that they would like to outpace in terms of shipments from April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022, outpace what PS4 did in its equivalent time frame of April 1st, 2014 to March 31st, 2015. And it did 14.8 in that time. If they did just 15.2 would bring them up to 23 million by April 1st, 2022. And that would be a pretty healthy first, you know, almost year and a half worth of PlayStation 5 being out on the market. Hopefully by then, chips are easier to come by, manufacturing is able to ramp up, and, you know, the PS5 is easily going to be another 100 million selling console. I think it'll outperform PS3. Looks like it's destined to push past the PS4. Although I do feel that Xbox Series S and X are going to give more of a challenge this time around than the Xbox One did last generation. So could that potentially take away from some of PS5's sales, or could you see people just double dipping and buying more of both console type scenario in their households? Possibly. And then you've got Nintendo Switch, very healthy. It's, you know, going into year 5 and no signs of slowing down. In fact, the fiscal year currently looks like it's going to outpace what we had throughout 2020. And the calendar year too, for that matter. I wouldn't be surprised if the April 1st time frame now through March 31st, 2022 is Nintendo Switch's best fiscal year to date. 2021 being, probably the best calendar year to date if you go January 1st through December 31st. So overall, a very healthy video game landscape. It's an awesome time to be a gamer. People get fixated on who's going to win. And, that's fun. It's really fun to look at. But definitely, if you've got any one of these 3 platforms or all 3, then awesome. I think you're set to have a lot of fun gaming throughout this whole generation. And who knows what surprises we'll see along the way. We've got Nintendo Switch Plus probably coming out this fall. Will there be a PS5 Pro and an Xbox Series XX, right? Eventually, we'll see. But that was cool. Let me know what you thought of today's event. I know we went into a little bit of a talk at the end, but it just, hard not to, because there's a lot of things happening in the world of gaming, and it's exciting to talk about. But yeah, nice state of play. Nice Ratchet and Clank event, I should say. All right, this is Paul Gale from PaulGaleNetwork.com signing out. Thanks for watching with me. If you enjoyed, I do video game news and video game talk segments often. I cover martial arts and I do tutorial sessions and so forth. So if you would consider subscribing, liking the video, if you did enjoy it, then I appreciate it. All right, thanks. Talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.